Hey guys, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Today we have Mr. Steve Oram from the great state of Texas. We're back down in Texas again. We're going to talk to him today about the upcoming BFL Cowboy Division event on Toledo Bend. Before we get started, thank you to all of our loyal subscribers and everybody that's been tuning into these podcasts. We're very, very excited. We've got a lot of great content coming out, a lot of great things rolling, so this has been very exciting for us. But be sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This notifies you when all of our newest content is going to be displayed on our page. And we want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that we're doing because we have a lot of content coming out. We're talking to several BFL anglers that fish with Major League Fishing, as well as other videos we're going to be putting together from the Bassmaster Classic. We're going to Red Crest this year. Just a lot of great things coming from Revital Outdoors. So be sure you do that. Also, if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, be sure you check out revitaloutdoors.com. That's our website. We've got all the information behind our premium CBD products, everything that we're doing with our pro staff. We're accepting new pro staff to represent Revital Outdoors. All the educational pieces about our company are there, so be sure to check us out on our website. But before we get too far carried away, let's go ahead and get to this podcast. Let's go ahead and bring him in, Mr. Steve Oram from Texas. How you doing this morning, bud?
Doing good.
Good. So, well, man, I found you based on some results that you had last year. You fished many years with Major League Fishing. You've got a great career amassed. You also fished some other stuff in Texas. Looks like you've done really well. And, based on getting the top 5 last year, we are excited to have you on board. And let's talk about Toledo Bend a little bit.
Okay, Toledo Bend. Wow. It's been a lot of days on Toledo Bend in the last 8 years. Unfortunately, last year's BFL fell on the snowmageddon of 2021.
Right.
East Texas, we were under 12 inches of snow, -4 to 5 degree weather at night for several days in a row. I've never seen anything like it in my 58 years in East Texas. So anyway, so Toledo was canceled and they moved the makeup over to Rayburn the following month in March. So with that said, I did practice a few days last year before the BFL that got canceled. And so I haven't been back to Toledo Bend. I've made a few phone calls to some buddies and locals in the area just to kind of size Toledo up and what's it doing. And, for us in East Texas, we've had a mild winter.
Right.
Winter just got here last week. And it's the first time that we've had some cold fronts come through, obviously, but they never lasted more than a day. And then the weather would warm right back up to the 70s, and the water temps were staying in the mid-60s.
Okay.
Up until a week ago, we've had a sustained cold weather, in lower 20s, 25, 28 degrees at night, only warming up to the mid-40s. And so the water temps have dropped 12 to 15 degrees. So I would venture to say the bass have definitely got into their winter pattern. So I will be going to Toledo tomorrow and Sunday. And, we're calling for more bad weather this week, low 20s, rain all week. So I would suspect by tournament day, it's just going to continue to change. So, good luck to the anglers that are not going to get to practice in all the sloppy weather, rain, 20-degree mornings to start. So it should be a level the playing field a little bit, I would think.
Right. So, well, talk to us a little bit about your history on Toledo Bend. When you talk about winter holding pattern, what does that mean for the fish? Because, it's different throughout the country, and I've even found it a little bit different from Toledo Bend to Sam Rayburn. So talk to us a little bit about what your definition of a holding pattern is on Toledo.
Well, for Toledo, since the absence of grass is very hard to find anymore on Toledo Bend, very hard. So in my experience, the fish are moving out to the deeper water, finding the ledges on the main channels, and as opposed to burying in the grass. So
right,
but you never know. The big ones, man, in the coldest of weather, they can pull up shallow in a heartbeat. And if you don't go look, then you don't know. But
right,
I can tell you the majority of the fishermen will be out there on the river channels, fishing the ledges and hunting down the fish that they're going to stay out there until they get ready to pull up for the spring spawn.
Okay. What do you suspect the water temperatures are doing?
I've been on Rayburn several times last week. I got a Toyota event there in 2 weeks, and we've had our first BFL on Rayburn this year. So our first BFL water temps are 63. Well, today I think they're 52. So that's a big drop in a week, and probably going to even get a little bit lower, I would think. So I would think that Toledo, it's got a bigger river channel that flows into Toledo than Rayburn does. So the water temps are generally 2 degrees warmer, even though the lakes are only 40 miles apart. And Toledo can get a little muddier also, so that'll also keep the water a little warmer. So I'll know more tomorrow, but it's going to be a long, cold, wet week, so I know things are going to change again before tournament gets here. So got to be ready to change the game plan.
Well, it sounds like something you've dealt with before in the past. You seem pretty confident in what you got to do. So we'll talk to us a little bit about your style of fishing. Do you like to throw the reaction baits like the 10XDs and the spoons and the A-rigs, or do you like to slow down and throw that jig and that Carolina rig? I mean, what's your kind of attack for a winter pattern?
Every angler, I think, has got to do a little self, look and see how you're doing. How have you been doing? And, think about your style of fishing. And, my style's typically been fishing deep and offshore and slowing down. And, I can see the fish down there on my electronics. And I've been guilty of just staying there too long trying to make them bite. Right. I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more reaction, get them crankbaits out, get the chatterbait out, get the topwaters out, and, trying to make these stubborn fish react more. And I think in the wintertime, sometimes that's the only way you can get them to bite when it's a really tough bite is the reaction bite. So my game's ever changing, and, it's in the back of my mind, and, I talk to my friends about it, and, it's real easy to get a little lazy while you're fishing. You get tired. You got up early, probably went to bed late, and late in the day, that energy level starts to sink a little bit, and you didn't need to be making a change or making a move. So for me, I got to guard against that and keep my excitement up and my energy levels up and stick it out through the tournament. And that way, when I'm done, I can look back on my day and say, well, I didn't get lazy. I didn't lean back on my chair and just hope that they're going to bite my worm down there in 30 foot of water. I made changes and tried to find the fish that wanted to eat. So anyway, for me, that's what I struggle with is making decisions, making moves. Don't sit too long, and be more active while I'm fishing.
Okay. Well, you said that there's an absence of grass. We've been hearing reports that the grass is kind of not coming back on Toledo Bend this year. Is it an off year, or do you think it's just gone?
No, it's I haven't been on the lake in 2 years, although I got a lot of friends that fish it and locals. I'm sure there's some pockets of grass here and there. You just got to be on the lake and go search and find it, but it's not where it's typically been. So with the limited grass, I've kind of got to where I don't even look for it. All the fish in the lake can't go jumping 10% of the grass that might be on the lake. So there's plenty of fish out there that are spread out. So, don't count on the grass bite.
Right. Well, the reason I asked that is, the infamous lipless company Rattle Trap is not too far from Toledo Bend. A lot of their testing for new products, new colors, new everything is right there at Toledo Bend. We've heard of guys like Dickie Newberry and Keith Combs being in the area. They're notorious for throwing lip. With the absence of grass in Toledo, can guys still catch them on a big 1 ounce, half ounce, 3/4 ounce, one knocker, or lipless bait, or what's your kind of thoughts there?
No, there was a Rattle Trap tournament on Rayburn 2 weeks ago, and Rayburn doesn't have a lot of grass either. From all the high water, and there were some good bags turned in when the 100% of the field are throwing lipless crankbaits all day long. And I think there was 2 or 3, 4, 5 bags over 20 and high teens, so wasn't much different than what I saw this morning on what the MLF guys did yesterday. Fishing
Right.
whatever they wanted to fish with. So you can get a rattle trap bite whether there's grass or not. In my, that's my experience.
I got you. So, well, looking forward to this tournament on Toledo Bend, the BFL, once again, Cowboy Division. What do you think weight-wise it's going to take to win the tournament and then also to cash a check?
For the BFL, I think on Toledo Bend, there's just like any other lake, man, there's always somebody that finds a hole of the big fish, and they can find a 28 to 30 pound sack. Wouldn't surprise me. I have been told that they have been catching some good fish on Toledo Bend the last several weeks. So typically the January tournaments on Rayburn and Toledo are pretty stubborn. Typically it's a pretty tough bite, and if you can 14 to 16 pound range will probably for sure get you a check. And if it was it's only a 1 day event, but they'll still be 22 pound, 21 pound. Not a lot of them, but that's kind of what I think.
There's always that one guy in the field that.
There's always that one guy that finds them, and it seems like it's the same few guys all the time.
Yeah. I hear you. If Dickie Newberry's in the field, that's always the guy you're going to be like, man, how much more money are you going to take out of my bank account today?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, Steve, looking forward to the tournament, looking forward to following you. Off to a decent start this year in the BFLs. You had a pretty good tournament at Rayburn for the first event. Talk to us about your goals throughout the rest of the year. You said you're fishing the Toyota Series. I mean, what is a guy like you from East Texas? What's your goals into fishing, just the BFLs and Toyotas, and what do you look forward to?
Well, for me, fishing's a hobby. I really enjoy it. I played golf most of my adult life, and I became a scratch golfer. And, all my buddies, we traveled, took several golfing vacations each year, and played at the local country club twice a week. And, that's something I just really enjoyed and got good at it. And my kids were grown. I've tried fishing when I was younger, and I've had a bass boat off and on my whole adult life. I just, I never knew how to fish. I never knew anything about points and humps and ledges and drains and, all those things that are under the water. I didn't know anything about it. So the few times I did go out to fish, I didn't have much luck. So when I decided to jump into the BFLs as a co-angler for a year or two, I learned a lot. And after the second year, I knew I was ready. And since then, I've never set the woods on fire, but, it seems like most tournaments, I'm about middle of the pack. I've had a few Toyota finishes where I was in the top 30. I've had a handful of BFLs. I was in the top 15. I have qualified for the regionals several years in a row. And the BFLs it's something to do for me, something to put on my calendar, put on the schedule. I spend a lot of time in this shop here. I really enjoy my fishing shop, and I enjoy trying to qualify and getting to go fish Grand Lake and Table Rock, Lake of the Ozarks, Ouachita last year. I get a lot of enjoyment of traveling and going to some new lake I've never seen. So that's why I fish the BFLs. It's 1 day. It's easy. It's right down the road, 100 miles from where I live. The Toyotas now, you're really upping your game. You're upping your entry fee. You're upping your game on the competitors you're fishing against. And so for me, I'm testing my fishing skills against the field in these Toyota events. And that would be a really big kick for me to qualify for the championship in the Toyota. So that's my goal this year, is try my hardest to make the championship in the Toyota. And see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a good goal. I've told a lot of anglers, and I've had a lot of anglers tell me that goal at the end of the year, winning is something that you can want, but it's something that you cannot dictate. When it's your day, it's your day. There's a lot of factors that go into winning a tournament. I'm not going to say it's all about luck, but luck does come into a factor a little bit. So winning is something that you really cannot control. But what you can control is working hard and fishing hard and making that championship. And, for me, I would much rather talk to a guy that has consistently gone to championships and done well, even if he hadn't qualified for champions. Strong finishes. Like, let's say they took the top in the BFLs, for instance, they take the top 45, and you got a guy that's made the regional a few years, but he had a couple years that he finished in the 50s, didn't quite make it. To me, that's still a very consistent angler. That's still a guy that tries hard, you know. But that championship, that's where it's at. I mean, so good luck to you. And I mean, Toledo Bend kind of fishes a lot like Guntersville. Guntersville's got a little bit more grass in it, but I've heard a lot of comparisons between Toledo Bend and Guntersville.
Yeah, and that's when I saw that on the schedule of Guntersville. I haven't been there yet, so that'd be another treat to get to go fish that lake. Last year, I think it was on Pickwick, the Toyota Championship, and I got to fish that my first year as a co-angler. I qualified for the regionals in the BFL and got to fish Pickwick, and I really wanted to go back. I didn't quite make the Toyota Championship last year. I had some good tournaments. You know, one day of the 2-day event for me, I would have a top 10 bag at the tournament, but either the day before or the second, either the first day or the second day, you know, 6 or 7 pounds, you know, just wasn't, I couldn't put 2 days together to get to a top 10 and get to fish that third day. So anyway, trying to put some things together this year and do things a little bit different and just kind of see what happens. So can't forget it's all for fun, and I'm having fun doing it. We spoke a little bit yesterday. You know, I love the fishing so much. I'll be going to ICAST this year, so if you're down there, I'll see you at ICAST.
Oh, we'll see you there. Yeah, ICAST is a good time.
So just to maybe expand a little bit on me personally for just a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Retired fireman, firefighter, paramedic in my hometown here for 25 plus years. Did some home building on my days off. You know, most firemen have a second career. Well, after I retired about 7 years ago, I always wanted to own a car wash. And so I built a known as tunnel drive-through express car washes. And so I got to meet all these guys in the soap industry, right? The soap to clean your car and your truck and whatnot. And so I got with my chemical supplier and I said, man, I'd love to have a product for my boat, you know, something that's just different, you know, and the ceramics are really big nowadays, right? The ceramic finishes on cars and boats, trucks. And so it took him a year. This guy's in with some of the best in the industry. And so he came up with a wipe down product for me, and I was selling it at my car wash, and it was flying off the shelf. Just a detail finisher, and it's got ceramic in it. So what I've done was I've made a company out of it, and I've decided to market the marine world. There's some good products in the marine industry to wipe our boats down with, but there's just not that many. And they're kind of using the old school wax, and I haven't seen many using the new technology with ceramics and graphene. And it just puts a really smooth, slick finish on your boat. It almost feels like you hand waxed it, but you can just do it with a quick wipe down, 5 minutes. And your gel coat, your wrap, it makes it feel like, you know, silk. I can't even describe it, how slick and smooth it is. So we're going to ICAST this year. I'm going to drop this product. Got a booth. We're going to put my boat with the Pro Glide rope wrap. I don't know if can you see that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Pro Glide wrap. So my boat will be down there. We're teaming up with another company, Amped Marine. That's the tackle storage system. They're here in Longview too, and he's a personal friend of mine. So I have his product in my boat. So we've teamed up, and we're going to have an oversized booth and be at ICAST. So we'll see what happens.
So you've never been to ICAST before, correct?
I haven't, no.
It's a fun week. It's a little hard on the liver. It's a little hard on the ankles, a little hard on the knees, a little hard on the back, but it's a fun week. Always excited to see new faces at ICAST, meet new people, especially new companies. So it's a really fun week. Unfortunately, it's not open to the public. You know, I kind of go both ways on that. I think at least one time, all of the big fishing enthusiasts should just one time in their life be able to go to ICAST. Yeah, but at the same time, oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot to look at, a lot of great people to network with. It's always very intriguing to me, especially I think one of the greatest things I get out of it just as an angler myself is to see all the lure and product designers from like Japan and Italy and even here in the United States. They're there, and they're always crunching numbers and working together and talking to pros and thinking about gear ratios and this and that and weight and composition. And it's just really, really cool to see those guys work and put their minds together. But it's a great networking opportunity. A lot of business is done. I think that's why they close it down to the public, is because we get 3 days to crunch as much business as we can, and there's a lot of people to talk to.
I'm excited. Obviously I love fishing. It's a hobby that I haven't grown tired of it yet, and I'm just hungry to learn more, and I'm just absolutely addicted to it. But I'm finding myself on this business side of it. It's just I'm really liking that too. And we're really excited about the ICAST and going down there. And we've got we've sponsored 4 fishermen across the different tours this year. Mm-hmm. So several of them plan on coming and spending a couple of days in our booth down there at ICAST too. So anyway, if nothing else, it's going to be fun. It'll be a road trip, a tax write-off, and we got a really good product. If it wasn't, right, the product speaks for itself. I'm not a salesman by any means. I'm a bass fisherman that knows how to wipe it clean. I want a clean boat, and I want my truck to look good. And hey, I stumbled across a couple of cool products that'll do that, and so having fun with it. Just having fun.
Good for you. Good for you. So, well, Steve, that kind of leads me to my last little segment to this podcast. I'm going to give you the platform. Obviously, you mentioned a lot with ProGlide, but any other sponsors you'd like to mention? Any friends, family, people that follow you, that support you? Steve Oram, this is your time to do so.
Okay, well, I see a lot of guys out there that are, their shirts are tattooed with every sponsor and every fishing product, and I always scratch my head like, how do you get all those? I mean, I've been doing this 8 years, and I don't have anybody. So I'm the kind of guy that there's only a few products that I've stumbled across that I really like, and I've been offered a boat to fish out of. For no cost each year. I've been offered that. But it was a brand that it's a nice boat, but I'm really liking this boat right here behind me that I paid for myself, no sponsors. Same thing with my rods and my reels. They're just a certain brand that I really like, and I'm loyal to those brands that I like. So I don't have any sponsors. ProGlide is my sponsor. I'm kind of sponsoring myself, but there again, I'm kind of enjoying the business side of it, and I saw a way to sponsor myself and it'll be a tax write-off for sure. And if I sell 4 bottles out there this year, that'll be okay too. We do have about 5 retailers, and I've got these pros selling to tackle shops, and their orders are coming in. So who knows? It might blow up to where every bass fisherman in the world got a bottle of ProGlide in their boat for a wipe down. I don't know. But anyway, for me, it's all for fun. It's a networking system with buddies, and I enjoy my friendships that I've made. And my phone is now full of fishermen. I'm sure I'm gonna write your name down. I'll keep your phone number and tag you as a fisherman. And how you do that. So when you look back in your phone, you just type in fisherman, and you can see all your fishing buddies.
Right.
So that's kind of neat to see a guy you met on Lake Amistad, down in Del Rio, Texas, and you met him at the boat ramp, and you swap phone numbers, and you see him again on Table Rock 5 years later.
Right.
It's just kind of a friendship that just kind of a bond because just through bass fishing. So that's kind of fun to experience all that. So anyway, I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. We'll see if we can have another good tournament next week on Toledo Bend, and hopefully the weather won't get too cold, and the anglers will be safe out there, and see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, we hope to have you back on with Vital Outdoors, because that means you've done well. We've been doing pre-tournament podcasts such as this one leading up to the tournaments, but then we're also going to be featuring the post-tournament podcast where we're hopefully talking to the winner or someone in the top 5. So, hey, if we get to see each other again, which I think we will, that means you've done well. You seem very confident in what you're doing. So hopefully we have Steve Oram back on with Vital Outdoors very soon.
All right. Well, thanks. Hey, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. You have a good day, and good luck at Toledo Bend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up another exciting podcast from Vital Outdoors. Again, we were interviewing Mr. Steve Oram from Toledo Bend, Texas. He's an East Texas angler, so we're very excited to have him. Really just awesome opportunity to talk to all these anglers and how they like to fish, how they like to break down these tournaments leading up to them. So we're having a lot of fun with it. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Revital Outdoors. You can see all of our content there. We have a lot of things that we've been posting, both educational to our products, our premium CBD products, as well as our pro staff anglers, these podcasts, everything that we're doing there. Check out our website, as I mentioned earlier, revitaloutdoors.com. See all of our premium CBD products there. All of our products help with outdoor enthusiasts who are experiencing inflammation, back and joint discomfort, trouble sleeping at night, anxiety, all of those things. Our products help you with that. They're THC-free, made right here in the United States, so check them out. Also, if you're interested in our Pro Staff program, we accept both hunting and fishing pro staff. Whatever way you feel like you can represent Revital Outdoors, be sure to fill out that application. That's on our website. Check out the Pro Staff tab, and then you'll find the link to the application. Fill it out there. We'll be happy to review that and get you on board. So from all of us at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning into another podcast. God bless. Be safe out there, and we will talk to you soon.